Hello, my name is JJ, and this is how to play May for beginners. I just want to start off by, in this quick match screen, I think when it comes to practicing a character, a lot of people don't know about custom games, and so I just wanted to um, show off a couple things that some people forget about. Don't forget that there are builds in here that can be saved and shared with your friends. You can put little hearts next to a build. You can click copy and paste and send that to your buddies to show them how cringe you are, or meta, if that's what you like going for. So let's get into a custom game here right away. I would like to show you that this sandbox Volska Foundry is one of my favorites. You can create a lobby quite easily. You don't have to put any AIs in. A lot of the stuff that you can do is just right in the game itself. So you just have yourself in here. Um, you're ready because you can click your, or whatever skin, whatever character model, whatever hero you want to play. You're ready up and start game. Now you can have people in there, you can have observers, you can have AI, but a lot of the stuff you can control in game as well. So if you're looking to just practice for yourself, that's what I recommend. Now while we load, I just want to explain a couple things about May. May is a tank, able to absorb a lot of damage and pressure from the enemy. She has a decent amount of built-in shields and healing. May is also able to provide protection and peel for her teammates with blinds, slows, and stuns. You will feel very safe and enabled when she is around. Finally, May is a master at disrupting the enemy, often making fights at objectives fall in her favor. My goal for this video is to introduce May at a basic level, helping newer players or beginner May enthusiasts to get a quick grasp on what she can do. Hopefully at the end of this video, you will feel confident to give her a go and start mastering this force of nature on the front line. So, now that we're here in game, I'm just going to move all the way out to the center, and I'm going to kind of reset everything and prevent XP from being gained and stuff like that. So, you can toggle minions, enable for right and left. That's the first thing, so that there's no, XP going on. I believe it does give XP over time. You can set the team level, and you can reset talents, cooldowns, all this other stuff. This is always helpful. It's not hard to use, and it's not hard to figure out. Up here we've got our dummies. Whoops, we got some XP. That doesn't matter. You can spawn them, and it's quite awkward where they can spawn and stuff. As you can see, it's hard to make them go exactly where you want, but if you experiment and play around with it, you will have better results. And you can clear them all at the same time. So, let's go ahead and spawn one dummy, a target dummy. And I'd like to go through her basic abilities here real quick. She has Snowblind, which is a bind. And as you can see, actually, if I turn on, I'm going to go with hotkeys, I believe. You go to quick cast settings. So my global is quick cast, but what we can do is on release. So that way I can hold it down and show you where the indicators are. Snowblind, it's a pretty big circle. It's not too hard to hit. Something that I want to point out that a lot of people don't know about is the hitboxes. This green circle around me is my hitbox. This red circle around this target dummy, and that would be around an enemy champion or hero, Um, it will, I mean, this is where you're gonna hit. So if I stand back here and I hit just outside it, it's gonna miss, right? But if I hit just on that line, it will hit. So my recommendation, especially with May, is to play on release so that you can kind of see your indicators. Once you get used to her, quick cast is faster. But for positioning, just make sure that their circle is touching your circle, or that their circle's gonna be inside your circle if you're trying to predict where they're going. So if they're running away, shoot in front, right on the edge, so that way they run into it. And if they're jumping at you, shoot right here, so that way they get hit as they come at you. And you can always just put it right on the edge. So long as the circles are touching, if they're moving in a direction towards you, you should be fine. Never aim at a moving target in the center, because there's a possibility that it's going to miss. That travel time while they're going, they could dodge or use something. Always try to predict the direction that they're going. So with that being said, the same thing is for this blizzard ability. Now blind, we'll discuss more about when to use it, how to use it. But blizzard, it is a 14-second cooldown, and it just creates a giant circle that slows enemies, and after 2 seconds it will stun them. So it's technically a root, but it's a stun. So it does say they're stunned for 1.25 seconds. Roots and stuns are basically the same thing in this game. So again, it's one of those things where wherever they're gonna go, you want to put their hitbox right at the edge. So that way if they're running away, they either have to run back into you and your team and get caught, or they run straight and they get caught by your blizzard. If you just place this on the center here, they will have time to run out of it. And I'll show you on myself. We can clear this dummy so I don't keep auto-attacking. But if I place it on myself in the center, I can easily get out of there. Now I'm not slowed. They would be slowed, so they'd be moving, like this. They can still easily get out of it. Now if I put this at the edge and, I run, I'm going to get caught. And it's going to slow significantly more over time. So it's like it's going to be slow, 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 and then root. It does the slow is pretty significant as they stay in it. As you can see, it stacks up. So as long as you catch them with the edge of it, you can see my hitbox. I'm going around like this. If you just practice trying to put the hitbox circle right at the edge, just at the inside of the blizzard circle or blind circle, just at the edge, always aim that way, you'll have a lot more success. Now the last ability that she has, or basic ability I should say, is her icing. Icing is her little dash, but it's a slide more than it is a dash. It's very sluggish, and the cast time, it's not instant. So again, it's nice having the on release so you can see the length at which you can go. What a lot of people don't know is that you can actually reactivate icing early and stop it before you get to the end. So if you were gonna charge from here, you can actually stop early and force the enemy in the direction that you want them to go, rather than flying past them and missing entirely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay is right. You can stop early and push them where you want them to go. So with that being said, there are three main things to focus on as a beginner May player. Um, and I'm going to say this before I show the ultimate, just because I think this number one is the most important thing for a beginner player is to always play defensively. Try to enable your carries and let them take the lead, as May. Focus more on disrupting the enemy backline and disengaging with the enemy. Use your spells in a way that forces them off your carries or punishes them for stepping too far, rather than trying to initiate with some,
I'm getting
really
so drippy.
cool backwards alt. It's better to just play defensively and let your team do most of the work as May. Now, once you get better and better at her, you'll understand your limits. You'll understand some pretty cool things that you can do with her, and that's awesome. So let's go ahead and set our level to 10. We can set both teams to 10 even though we don't have enemies, but so let's make our way back out to the dummy. Whatever. um, we can discuss some talents. I really don't want to go into talents so much as playstyle in this video. I don't want to overwhelm people. I'm just going to show one specific thing and then tell you to read what these all do and try them all out, because I think that's the best way to start a character is just to try things and see how it feels, because everyone's got different play styles and they're gonna want to play things differently. So I take heat transfer specifically because it's healing. Anytime you can be more tanky, it's better as a front line. You don't need to be damage dealer, and May already does a lot of damage. Now I take cold front here because I like the icing cooldown. I like being able to dash more. It allows me to engage and disengage and just make more plays, and it gives mana back when you're doing her little combo, and that combo is the, you know, put the blizzard here, and well, technically I'd put it here, but let's just say right as they're about to escape, you push them back in and they get stunned. So that's kind of her combo that we can discuss and talk about. But essentially, being able to throw that combo out more and get that 80 mana back just allows you to fight more often, and you get the reduced cooldown, so you get to try it, or you can be a jerk to the enemy and keep pushing them off. Because you can do it the same way, like if they're coming at your team, you can disengage, pop them back into your uh, blizzard and freeze them and stop them from getting to your team. So, um, what you could do, let's say, like they're getting behind you, and they're chasing your team, and they're about to get out of that blizzard and get to your team. You push them back into the blizzard, and now you're with your team, and you can fight front to back, and the enemy has been stopped from engaging. So, um, now with this one, I personally just recommend hibernation. This again, it just goes with the mitigating damage as a tank. Being able to reduce the damage dealt by the enemy is huge, and Blizzard is only a 14-second cooldown, so being able to reduce their damage by 40% every 14 seconds is a big deal, because it's not just. I mean, you get the value of freezing them, pushing them off, creating this huge slowing zone or freezing zone, and after they're done being frozen, if they, want to keep pushing or they want to keep engaging, they're going to do it with less damage, right? So it just really turns the fight in your favor. But there's no wrong way to play Mei. Try things out and figure things out. Ice Wall, I think, is difficult to use properly. Um, you on release is recommended here. It'll show you where it's gonna go,
好，
but it has a time delay,
升起来吧，
and it goes from center out, or from the
升
center
起来吧，
of where you click, the center of your mouse, to the outside edge,
冰墙
as you can
升起
see.
来吧，
So you can use it like this if they're trying to run away.
冰
So
墙
that way, if they won't run in a straight line, they get caught. Or you can use it like this. If they're trying to run at you in a straight line, they'll get caught. You can disengage.
fight for the future.
Or you can use it to block off an entire area
冰墙升起来吧，
and keep them out of the area, which is very helpful on objectives. You don't want them to get this objective here, you just block them out. Or maybe you want to trap them inside here
冰墙
and make a really cool play and kill them or prevent them from getting away. It's only a 1-minute cooldown. It works really well in a lot of areas, in a lot of maps, a lot of objectives.
起来吧，
You can
over there.
you can use it in a bazillion different ways. It's pretty cool. But I think it's the harder one to use. It clearly is the less cool one to use because everyone else wants to throw people into towers with the snowball. Of course, everybody wants to do that. It's a bigger cooldown.
雪球大炮，
The 70-second cooldown. But I think this one is fantastic for disengaging. It's very good in a team fight. And there are a lot of really cool ways to use it. With that being said, let me show you a couple ways to use it. And then discuss the other basic things you should be thinking about as Mei. So real quick, I think the best way, going along with the playing defensive strategy here, is to split the enemy up in a team fight. Let's spawn 2 target dummies here. Then you got this guy back there. Okay, so let's just say that this is the team. And we can spawn in... Oops. Whatever. Let's just say they're already on top of your teammate. Now, what you could do is you could snowball them in a straight line here. Like this, as you can see. And even though the snowball looks huge, by the way, what I want you to see real quick is this line. If this line isn't passing through their hitboxes, these circles, it's not going to hit them. And you can also see the blue circle around the ult, around the snowball. See the blue circle? That's the hitbox of the snowball. The snowball looks huge, but it's pretty small. You see how thin this is? So just keep that in mind and pay attention to the hitboxes. Don't be deceived by the animation of this giant snowball. It's way smaller than it looks, or at least the hitbox is smaller than the actual look of the snowball. So something to keep in mind. So with that, I could hit all of them in a row, in a line, and send them all away. Or I could position so that I hit 3 of them and leave 1 here. Now all of a sudden, the enemy's gotten thrown back into their base, and this one person is caught out because he's on top of your team, like your carry or whoever got caught out here, this healing dummy. But let's say over here you've got a couple, of your friends as well. They're just weren't quite in range to help. Well, now they're in range to help, and there's only one enemy instead of four. So you've turned the tides on them. So that's just my recommendation of trying to make a good play. Now there is a way to do other, cool things where let's spawn in a couple dummies here. There we go. Another thing that we can do is, let's say that you are out of vision,
好，
or let's say that your team's getting chased down and you see that they're going to be caught. You can be clever and kind of hide yourself from vision and wait for them to overstep, get behind them,
雪球大炮，
take a couple with you. You're not going to always get a perfect alt with all 5 members. That's the dream. Just be happy and satisfied
雪球
with a couple and try not to overthink it. Try not to get the perfect 4-man ult, because even though I got 4 here or 5 here, what I didn't do is get them in a good position. All I did is just throw them over here and maybe they just escape back out this way, right? Maybe we had 4 here, but their 5th member, we just sent them to their 5th member. Now they're 5 strong. Now maybe this is where your team was, and you've got a big giant wombo combo, and you can kill them all. Maybe,
哦，OK，
maybe not. Just saying, be defensive first, and catch out somebody to give your team the advantage. And once you get good with that, you can go for the highlight plays. With that being said, what's the number 2 thing? Number 1 is play defensive. Number 2 is manage your mana and take time to reset. As you can see,
What's over there?
she can be very mana hungry. Alright? So find time
Out there, come on!
to base when your mana's low or when your health is low. And this will allow you to fight more often and make good decisions about what you're doing. And when an objective is up, it's going to be hard to reset. So either save your sippy cups, or use your sippy cups often. If you're spamming, then use your sippy cups often so that you can constantly, be active out on the field. Or be more conservative with your mana and use it in very important places. Both playstyles work very well. It's just pay attention. Try not to let your mana get below 30%. If you like to clear waves, she's very good at clearing waves. Her blizzard will hit the entire wave. You can hit the entire wave with a Q as well,
Fight for the future.
and then just auto attack everything down. It does do quite a bit of damage, and it helps manage a lane. One thing you can also do is just cast one blizzard, mount up, and run away. And your minions will kill those minions because they'll have more health typically. And you can stay safe with your team, and then whoever goes back down into this lane that you kind of, got cleared naturally by the enemy minions, you can come pick up the globes and then go back. So it just kind of allows you, it's another different, like rather than staying, clearing all of the minions, auto attacking them all, and wasting time, you can just damage the enemy minions, run away, be near your team to protect them, and then once the globes are on the ground down here, you know, okay, you've disengaged, or hey, you got a gank, got a kill. Alright, the minions in the other lane are dead. Now someone can go back and pick up these globes real quick before they disappear. So since XP globes were introduced to the game, it's just something that you can think about. But you can also just sit in lane and grab it too, and that way you don't have to, you know, think about it, because maybe you have to get to an objective. So maybe you're top lane and you have to clear this wave real quick. So maybe it's better to just stay, clear the wave, auto attack, mount up, get back to the objective. Now you don't have to worry about it. But maybe there's no objective up. Maybe you want to get that camp. So you just blizzard, throw, get yourself over here, mount up, run over to the you know,
On my
the
way.
mercenary camp or whatever your team's doing. Help them out over here. Be done. Run back out or send somebody back out to go pick up the globes that are going to be out here. So, a lot of things you can do with me. Just if you're going to be very active and spam abilities, just make sure you base before objectives, so that way you have enough mana to actually fight to your heart's contented objective. Finally, the third thing. So remember, number one is play defensively. Just enable your carries, let them take the lead, focus on disrupting the backline, disengaging, force the enemy off your character or your carries, or punish, you know, enemies who go too far and overstep. Split up the team. So thirdly, be active. Be active and get in the face of the enemy. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. Show them what you're made of. Mei is a bully and a force of nature. She excels at absorbing damage and pressure and turning fights around. Block damage for your carries. Punish the enemy when they overcommit. Just get in their face
On the attack.
as much as possible. Save your blind for the, you know, for like say a butcher tries to engage and gets on. As soon as the enemy gets on, you know, your team, get the blind off so the autos don't hit. Don't just throw the blind out there to get damage. Use the blind to prevent damage. You know, or maybe you know, oh, somebody is about to get attacked or jumped on. Tyrael just threw Judgment on. Get the Blizzard on, freeze them, and as soon as they wake up, blind them. You know, or
Yes.
maybe right before they get to your team, disrupt them and push a couple off, and then try to turn the fight around. Or, you know, throw your freeze down and push them into the freeze, or block them. Use your icing to push people away, and don't forget that you can reactivate it. You've got so many different tools at your disposal. You can also body block too. You can prevent them from moving by body blocking them. Get in their path so that they can't get to your teammates. You know, get in the way. Take damage, because you have one more ability that I haven't discussed that is really nice, and that's Cryo Freeze. It's only a 40-second cooldown. You become encased. You gain a shield that rapidly decays, but it absorbs 1900 damage, or almost 2k at this point. I guess this is level 15. Um, it's not that high earlier in the game, but it's a lot of damage. You know, it's almost half her health, so it's like over a third of her health. So basically, it makes you unstoppable. So if I use it, you'll see it's got the unstoppable. Now the shield does decay and go away.
I see.
However, you know, you can take an entire nuke, you can take like a massive hit, right? you can use it in a way that prevents like a big giant wombo combo or a bunch of damage quickly. You don't even have to get perfect value out of it either. It's such a low cooldown, 40 seconds, that you can spam it. Now, not only does it give you a shield, it heals you as well. So if you're laning against an opponent, use it to heal yourself up. If nothing's going on the map, use it. It restores 35% of your HP. So rather than always using a sippy cup for health, which you'll almost always just use it for mana because you've got so much healing. Um, if there's no objective up or nothing, you're not looking for a fight right away, use your cryo freeze in lane to heal yourself up. Or best way to use cryo freeze, in my opinion. I mean, not using it is a mistake. It's a 40-second cooldown, so spam it. But if you're being chased and the enemy team is going to get you, you can bait them into thinking that they're going to get the kill. Because a lot of times people forget about cryo freeze. And so they'll chase you, and you can throw your blizzard down. And if they try to get on top of you, they will be frozen, and you can turn the fight around. See how much health I gained there? I was pretty low, but now I'm pretty healthy. So Mei has a lot of ability to just take damage and turn everything around. She's pretty OP. Now,
Yes.
when Cryo Freeze is down, she's very vulnerable because crowd control just locks her down. So it's just important that you have 5 abilities. So make sure each ability counts and make sure that you are using them all the time. And when they're all down, be patient and let them come back up so that when you engage, you can not, like if you go in, you have 2 more things to be able to either push them off or chase them down. I go into a fight and now I've got these seconds where I've got nothing. Now I have Blizzard. Well, in that time I could have died because I didn't have any other abilities to be able to mitigate damage or deal with stuff. So if you go in with only, 1 or 2 abilities and everything else is on cooldown, you're going to have a hard time team fighting. So you use them, experiment, have fun with them, practice it, and let me know what you think. Put down in the comments how you feel about this video. It's probably way too long, but try out Mei. Throw some snowballs, freeze some people, and if you want to know the rest of the build that I do, real quick, do Polar Vortex. Again, slows movement and attack speed when you cast an ability. Got this little vortex around you. You're casting. Pretty nice. Acclamation. Each time you stun or slow an enemy, you gain extra healing, and you get armor. It just makes you tankier. So, and you can see that stack down here.
There you are.
You have to slow to refresh it, or be taking damage. So, and Polar Vortex helps, right? It helps keep this going. It's very good. Polar Vortex with Acclamation. Level 20, pick whatever you want. If you are dying a lot, take Flash Freeze so you have an extra death. If you want to throw out more snowballs, take Cascade. You want to throw out, you want to make Ice Wall hit harder, or I guess reduce damage and hit harder. Take Shatter. And if you like to throw out blinds because they have just tons of AD, They've got like maybe a Zul'jin and a Vala on the same team. Um, you know, maybe try one of the blind builds. Who knows? Try it, experiment, have fun,
If you're
and
sure.
get out there and be a force of nature. That's it.
雪球大炮。
See you next time.